We were having dinner one night at Au Petit Jean's in Beverly Hills when Jim turned to Duke and asked him, "When you were Marion Morrison, growing up on the farm, did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that you'd someday be a world-famous movie star?" To which Duke honestly replied, "No, I thought I'd be president of the United States." Duke was great fun, and hanging out with him was like spending time with my father or older brothers. He was so easygoing and natural, I often had to remind myself that he was the biggest star in the world at that time. A living legend, bigger than life. But all I saw was a good man, a little wary now and tired, but still willing to embrace new ideas. He was in the process of putting together the epic film, The Alamo, which he would co-write, star in, and direct. His directorial debut, as a matter of fact, so he was understandably nervous. A huge and magnificent set had been built in Brackettville, Texas, where the movie was to be shot, and Jim had decided that we should fly down and see how his old pal was doing. Lawrence Harvey arrived the same day we did for his role in the film. He was in a petulant mood, sulking about the bloody Texas dust, and pouting because he couldn't get a decent drink in the local pub. "These bloody heathens serve nothing but that dreadful bourbon," he sniffed. "I'd rather drink gasoline." Jim was in one of his mischievous moods and immediately called the nearest big city and had 100 cases of wine delivered to Larry's dressing room. He instructed the delivery men to stack the cases in front of the doors as high as they could reach until the small trailer was completely obscured by wooden cases of wine. Then we hid in the foliage and waited for Larry to return. He came dragging in after the day's shooting, tired and dusty, a frown creasing his forehead, and stopped short. Staring up at the mound of wine higher than his head, he threw back his head and exploded with laughter. "Where the hell are you, Hennigan?" he shouted. For this, only my mad Irishman, a living satyr if ever there was one, could be responsible. The next day Larry was in a charming mood and sat under an umbrella, daintily sipping his wine as he waited for his call. He had a habit of yawning hugely before going into a scene, claiming it relaxed him and cleared his head, but Duke didn't know this. He called for Larry to take his position for the next scene, and Larry complied, slowly sauntering onto the set and yawning mightily. Duke jerked off his hat and threw it on the ground, cursing and yelling at Jim. "Now look what you've done with your damn imported wine. My actor has fallen asleep."